Shalom Temple Israel. It's good to see you. I hope that you're having a good week. Last week, we started the month of Elul, the final month of the year, the month of preparation for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And there's some lovely customs during Elul that we observe that help us prepare, that remind us that Rosh Hashanah is coming. One of them is sounding the shofar. And I love all the people who sent in the I Toot for Tears videos, doing a great job blowing the Tekiah Gedola. Keep practicing and keep sending in the videos. This morning, I had a conversation with a congregant who wanted to learn more about some of the prayers that we recite on the high holidays. How do they reflect the themes of the day? One of the prayers that is most recognizable to people on Yom Kippur is the vidoy, is the confession, the part where we beat our chest and we say out loud everything that we have been guilty of. And throughout the Yom Kippur service, there are two forms of the vidoy, two forms of the confession. The one, the Ashamnu, the short one, ay, 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 Ashamnu, and we all sing along. And then a few pages later, there's a longer section called the Al Chet, and each line begins, Al Chet shachatanu lefanecha, for the sin that we have sinned against you, against God, and then the sentence ends something differently. So for example, one page starts, for the sin we have sinned against you by throwing off restraint, for the sin we have sinned against you by rashly judging others, for the sin we have sinned against you by plotting through selfishness, or through superficiality, or through stubbornness. And each one of these is a general category. And as we read this prayer to ourselves, we're supposed to be thinking about how we ourselves live. In our machzor, in our prayer book, and one of the times that we see the vidoy, there is a prayer that says, for the sin of destroying God's creation. And it's a modern vidoy, a modern confession written by Rabbi Danny Nevins, the dean of the rabbinical school at JTS, and it relates very much to the way that we treat the environment, for the sin of destroying God's creation, the world around us. But it relates to something specific that we are dealing with right now. And looking at this page this morning made me think about one of the ways that might be helpful in preparing for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. How do we actually get ready to live a better year? What if we each wrote our own Al Chetz? And it doesn't have to be something that you share with everybody. It can be something that you know about. Maybe you prepare for Rosh Hashanah by composing your own prayer. And the Machzor is a guide for us. We use the Machzor, we start each line, Achet Shechatanu, we put it in the liturgical form, and we use as a chance to think about what it is that we're actually repenting for, what it is that we want to change for the coming year. The Machzor that we have is a beautiful book. It's filled with prayers that evoke the memories of the high holidays for us, prayers with lofty ambitions and beautiful melodies. But it's the most helpful when we take those prayers and we internalize them, and we make them about ourselves. So this week, I ask you to look at the Al Chet, at the vidoy, and think about what your own personal vidoy for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur would look like. Have a good week and have a Shabbat Shalom.